So, the GT7 update 1.69 is here, and it has some Power Pack adjacent changes. The biggest deal being able to use your garage cars. Now, this got me thinking, can I build a car as close to spec as the Pro Tune options and still be competitive? Or does it break the Power Pack? So, what I decided to do was use this purple Civic here as my base. As you can see, the best I was able to do was get fourth place in it. Keep in mind, this is from the original build of the Power Pack. I know there have been some changes, and even with this update, it says that the race difficulty has been adjusted. So take it all with a grain of salt. I'm not going to be driving this car again in this video, but probably in the future sometime. I don't know. We'll see. But back to what I was talking about. I'm trying to match the horsepower and the PP rating and this body style Civic. So that led me down a little bit of a rabbit hole, but not too much. I decided to build this thing. What we have here is an all-motor B18 swap EG with everything thrown at it besides a rear bumper. I'm happy to say I was able to keep the performance points pretty much the same. This one's 0.23 under, and the horsepower is exactly the same, just all motor. So I was real happy the way that came out. I was real excited to get out on the track and get this thing dialed in and tuned. So I did that. I spent a lot of time on the track. And once all that was said and done and I felt pretty comfortable with how things were, I decided it was time to get on in there and start my practice laps. So I usually don't have my HUD up unless I need to track things like fuel and weather and endurance races, and in this case, sector timing and positioning. With that said, after some healthy practicing, getting used to having some traffic, I went into qualifying, where there was more traffic. But once I got past it, I was able to claim pole position by almost 3 seconds. So, a little discouraged by that. Anyway, I cleared the HUD for immersion, and in the race I quickly remembered it was a standing start. And with no indication that the race started, I eased on the throttle to keep as much traction as possible, and I don't think I did too bad. Now, I wasn't able to hold on to the lead coming out of the gate, but I was able to quickly regain that position before turn 1, unfortunately. And as you're about to see here, this thing just straight walks on them in the straightaways. Like, look at that. What the hell? There are still some opportunities with the tuning of this thing, but unfortunately the little settings icon is still unusable in the pits, so there's no test and tune during practice. And I'm not about to jump in and out of screens just to try to get this thing dialed in a little bit more. I was pretty confident the way I had it set up anyways. It goes without saying I was a little disappointed in the fact I was able to post time so much faster than everyone else, because on paper this should have been a completely different battle. To me, this update was an interesting choice. Sure, it adds a garage category in the car selection screen of the Power Pack with its own header that displays your best finish, just like the other three. It also adds accessibility for those that just can't get those stars needed conventionally. And of course, it adds replayability. But is it challenging still? To me, yes and no. No, because the sky seems to be the limit with the performance points. But also yes, because now you can build a car that is at more of a disadvantage than the game's offerings. I think this might even sell a few copies of the DLC, to be honest with you. But it also doesn't go without some issues. As you saw, there's still no lights or horns for the standing starts when you're in VR with no HUD, which is insane to me. And I also wish it did a better job at keeping varying degrees of challenge. With no performance point restrictions, this keeps the door open for poor racecraft in single player, which, in my opinion, translates to a portion of the issues seen with PvP competition. But, like I've always said, your money, your game, play how you want. So, after pulling away early on in the race and comfortably doing 3 laps, I crossed the finish line in first place. It was a bit of an empty victory, but I'll take it. And I will have you know this was without any funny business, so yeah. You know, for a car with the same performance points and horsepower, 3 seconds is a large gap. But anyway, I had some new questions. Are you able to get stars from your garage cars? Well, you know there's only one way to find out. Now, I'm not going to make you sit through this one too, but this race had a 50% chance of rain and I wanted to showcase the atmosphere when the cold front comes in. Started out nice, bright day with clear skies, but it didn't last long. After a few laps, it began to look like this, and then it started to look like this. And not soon after, it got even worse. So I wasn't about to stick around. I'm sure the race was going to let me know how bad it gets. So I quit practice, hit qualifying, and only managed to do it by a tenth of a second. Okay, so I was nervous. Another standing start. I was ready. I launched. I'm looking around. I'm going for it. And I don't see anybody. I don't know what's going on. So I was curious, and after the race, I went back to the replay and checked this action out. What was he doing? Anyway, I'm not mad about it. Kept me in P1. Now, I tried to keep my cool, but I couldn't hold on to it for long. These guys were relentless. But by the last lap, I was where I needed to be. Back in first place with a beautiful sky, not a single worry in the world. Nope, not a single worry in the world. Smooth sailing. Well, anyway, long story short, yes, you can get stars from your garage cars. That was over, I noticed that it had crossed over into Friday, so I decided to take a look at what the Power Pack challenges were. And basically, it's just race and get money. It's a little lazy if you ask me. And while I'm at it, what's up with the Spec 3 weekly challenges? I thought we were supposed to get more new events instead of these recycled races. Anyway, as I was saying, I think this is lazy on their part. Instead of curating new races every week for us, they decided to put the burden on us. To keep things fresh, it's up to you to pick one of your cars and go race it somewhere. When you add all the tracks, cars, tuning options, times of day, and the weather variables, you have everything you need to create something for everyone, and the ability to keep it fresh for a very long time. Let me know how you're playing the Power Pack. Are you playing traditionally? Are you just now going to get it because you can use your garage cars? Did you beat it a long time ago and now you're coming back for the spruced up races and more Gran Turismo bucks? And do you still think it's challenging? And as always, keep it clean, keep two wheels on. Thanks for hanging out. Totals.